Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. Tonight we are going for a beer from a brewery that I've not had anything from before. It's alcohol free. The brewery is Mash Gang. The beer is California Uncommon. And it doesn't tell you a lot on the can about what to expect within, but there is one clue that there is something a little bit different about this beer that I've not had in an alcohol free beer of any kind. And that's the ingredients list. And I'm going to read it to you now. It says I'll say it's the allergens actually. The allergens are hops, interesting, malt, oats, barley, chili, and wheat. And obviously your ingredients are water, barley, wheat, oats, yeast, and pepper. But no hops listed on the ingredients, but definitely in the allergens. Anyway, has it got hops? Who knows? Well, it does actually say that it's alcohol-free malt liquor. It's subtly hopped and sweetly malted, but it's not there on the ingredients list. But it does list the hops as Tettnanger and Northern Brewer, and your malts are Pilsner and honey. So, there. So it's got some pretty cool kind of almost... What would you describe that artwork as? It's not quite Day of the Dead. It's kind of pretty cool, funky, kind of surfwear type thing. I don't know. But it is what it is. Pretty cool. We've got a very 70s sort of themed colour scheme on there, sort of the peach, the salmon, and the yellow and the orange. But yeah, I've no idea what to expect from the taste. So without further ado, we're going to crack it open and see what we get. So it's a 500ml can as well, which is pretty cool to see. Most of your alcohol-free beers indeed have been 330s in the can. I've not seen a 440 yet. So a big 500ml is nice. So the pour into my Jump Ship Brewing glass is... Oh, it's pale. I was almost expecting something a little darker. Don't know why, I just was. So, actually beer in a glass. It's well carbonated. It's got a subtle bit of fridge haze. Looks very much like a lager or a light pale, and your head is white and fluffy, and yeah, like I say, incredibly well carbonated. It looks like it's going to have a reasonable body to it from the old swirl. You know, it's not acting like water. Looks all right. Don't know what to expect though. It's a whiff. It smells lager-like. It smells ever so slightly fruity as well. But it's mostly that kind of green lager, not the kind of grassy sours type things, but a real light, fresh, sort of fruity aroma. Yeah, the Pilsner malts just riding roughshod over the whole thing. It looks alright. It smells interesting. Now, I was wondering, is there going to be a savoury edge to the aroma with the inclusion of the chili? It's not really there. I wonder if that's in there to give it a little bit of a burn. We should find out. Let's taste it. Cheers. Am I getting chili? Don't know. Let's try again. Okay, so first up, the body is pretty decent on it. You know, it's not thin in any way, shape, or form. It's light, but it's not thin and watery. It has got lots of lager-like tendencies. The mouthfeel is nice as well. It's well carbonated, but not overly so. It's kind of smooth and almost velvety, which, from a pale beer, is quite surprising. Not getting anything from the chili though. Not anything discernible anyway. I was wondering if maybe like that savoury taste kind of. You sometimes get a bit of a, depending on the peppers that have been used, you get a bit of a citrus edge. Otherwise, you get a little bit of, I don't know, it's a bitterness. And I'm not getting bitterness either. It tastes to me like a good alcohol-free lager. I didn't really know what to expect, so I'm pleasantly surprised that it's quite nice. No chili though. I wonder what that brings. I'll have to message the boys and girls at Mash Gang and see what they say. But the body's good. The mouthfeel is decent. It is malty, and it's those Pilsner malts that are riding, like I say, roughshod over everything. And it's really nice. The hops, as they say, are subtle, but they add that nice, fresh, sort of green taste to it. It's nice. And the finish is short but sweet. There is a slight savoury edge on that finish. And I wonder if that's where the chili's doing its thing. Certainly not there in a big burn way. But yeah. And the only other beer that I've had that's had, well, that's tell a lie, 2 beers I've had chili in. One other one I enjoyed, but the other one was a chocolate chili stout, and that didn't work for me. So I was a little bit apprehensive. But thankfully, in this beer, it works wonders, whatever it's doing. That's all right, that. I like it. So, Mash Gang's California Uncommon. What does Untapped think of you? Well, Untapped says there's only been 72 check-ins and there's only 3.08. Well, I say only 3.08. That's actually pretty decent by Untapped scores as an average score over those 72 check-ins. Not many check-ins. But what do I think of it? Well, that's the whole point of me doing this video. So let's give it a score now. So looks-wise, you know, it looks a decent beer. It's a nice golden colour. It had a reasonably nice white head on it. It was quite light and fluffy and inconsistent, but it was, you know, it's the head. It's not delivered by a sparkler, so it's never going to be thick and creamy. But the beer itself, it looks all right. You know, I was not knowing what to expect, so yeah, it looks good. I'll give it a point. Let's give it a whole point. Aromas. Again, I did not know what to expect. There's nothing really on the can to give you a clue, other than the alcohol-free malt liquor, subtly hopped and sweetly malted. And that's it. Yeah. That's it. There's no other tasting notes. So, aromas, again, light, green, lager-like, but without that big SARS influence, obviously, because there's no SARS in it. That adds a nice grassiness that's not here. It's malty, it's green, it's fresh. I would like, now that I've tasted it, perhaps a little bit of something else. Don't know what, but I like what I've got here. So I'm going to give it a 3/4 out of 5. I just wish it had a bit more strength to it as well. Body. Now, again, had no idea what to expect from this beer, but the body's decent. You know, it fits. It fits the look, it fits the taste, it works. It's light, well, it's slightly more than light, but not massively more than light. And yeah, nice mouthfeel on it as well. Can't knock it. I'll give it the full point. Taste. Again, the only clue that I had really was the hop profile, the Pilsner malts and the honey, obviously. And then there was that inclusion of chili. The chili I found interesting on the list of ingredients, but it didn't really translate in a big way in the flavour. But what I had was nice. You know, it was, for me, a really nice tasting alcohol-free lager that's backed up by a decent body. You know, and the body goes a long way to improving the kind of perceived tasting experience. And I like it. I do. I just wish that maybe there was a hint of the chili to give it a little bit of a burn. Don't know if that was the intention or what, but I'm going to find it out. But otherwise, I'm still going to give it a 3/4 out of 5. And the finish is kind of like a lager, short and sweet and malty. And it is short. And I look for a little bit of the grassiness and hops in a lager type beer. I'm not getting much of that at all. There was a kind of a subtle hint of those hops on the finish. I just wish it was a little bit longer. I'm going to give it the half on the finish, which for me, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 on the old Untapped score sheet of joy. So that's my overall board there. It's a bit difficult to write the name of this one up in that little box up the top, but there we go, 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I'm going to continue to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm going to say Ladies and gentlemen, down there are some buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You got the like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them you wish. And if you are one of the 72 people who's tried it and checked in on Untapped, do let me know in the comment section what you thought of it as well. So on that note, I want to say that's been the beer. I've been me, and I'll see you again soon for another one. Bye.